and influencers are still dropping like flies. 3 years on, and we continue to see young and previously healthy people from all backgrounds dropping dead. But why is this happening? In June of this year, a prominent YouTuber with a large following running the YouTube channel called Pretty Pastel Please unfortunately passed away. Now, she was only 30 years old, and the diagnosis was lymphocytic myocarditis. This is a condition of the heart. Now, whilst this used to be uncommon, this year has seen a long list of influencers who have seemingly died suddenly and unexpectedly for no apparent reason. It comes off the back of another prominent influencer named Farah El-Qadi. She was an architect. She died of a cardiac arrest while she was on vacation in the same month. Now, she was only slightly older at 36 years old. And just 3 years older than her, viral TikTok influencer Dr. Tatiana Guluarte sadly passed away a few months just before in March. Now, it doesn't seem as though the cause of death was reported for this one, although there is a report of a potential brain aneurysm. We also saw the death of yet another influencer in the same month. This was after a year-long battle with cervical cancer, which was pretty fast-acting, and she was only diagnosed the year before. Her name was Jessica Petway, once again, just 36 years old. A lady from Brazil who run a similar channel. She had a large following. She was 35 years old. She also died of a heart attack at the start of December. Also in Brazil, this time last year, Larissa Borges, she died of a double cardiac arrest. So we're starting to see a very strange pattern here. Women in their early to mid-30s primarily, who are passing away for seemingly uncommon and rare conditions. I mean, it's just a coincidence that some of these influencers were publicly advocating for a certain medical procedure. And it's clear now that news outlets are forced to report on this. They simply cannot deny it. So here we have women's heart attacks rising, particularly among those 30 to 50 years old. So this is definitely a thing, guys. The same goes for turbo cancers. In fact, if we look at this graph here, we can see cancer rates have risen exponentially since 2021. Of course, the cause is a complete mystery. And actually, on this topic, in a tragic twist of fate, we have a Fox News reporter who was recently diagnosed with a turbo cancer himself. And the crazy thing is, his wife was also diagnosed with cancer not long before. I mean, so you have this couple who have both got cancer and are both battling it simultaneously. I mean, this is really tragic for the family, but what are the chances of that? I don't know about you guys, but looking at this graph, I can see one thing which might be able to explain it. But it's not just turbo cancers, is it? It's also conditions of the heart, which are apparently also spiking. So, according to this article, scientists are puzzled because of a spike in heart disease deaths since the pandemic. They're puzzled. Apparently there's no identifiable cause. Not too long ago, a study showed an alarming rise in heart failure deaths, especially among younger adults. And we're talking about adults who are under the age of 40, which is really bizarre. The BHF report early heart disease deaths rise to 14-year high.
All right. Giving all praises to Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai B'Hashem HaRachachodash. Double honors to our apostles and our elders here at Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So to address the elephant in the room, what is the cause of all this that we hear about? And, it's a good question. Even the physicians of no value, the scientists are puzzled. And they just don't know why. Nobody can put a nail on it. Nobody can give a hint as of what the cause may have been. This is just all so suddenly, and nobody has an answer. Well, we here at Great Millstone has counseled you, and if you took that counsel and went in faith, if you're standing here today still, then you should be blessed that the Lord, gave you the spirit and the comfort to go in faith and to look fear in the face, as you can say, and say, no, I'm going to fear my Lord. I'm going to fear the Heavenly Father, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, and I'm willing to take those losses. And as of right now, you can sit here and say that you don't regret it. But I can show you millions of other people who do regret it. And now, truthfully, we don't really care about those people if they're not of the elect. But what the danger is that if you call yourself an Israelite and you're listening to certain Israelite leaders, and these Israelite leaders are condoning or advocating for, you could say, the world's, what do you call them? The world's scientists, right? They tell you all the day long that they're Israelites and that Esau, Edom, the white man's the devil, this. But when it came to the pandemic, they all of their teachings aligned at the same time. All of a sudden, they all said that you will be a fool if you don't go to your nearest Walgreens and schedule an appointment. And, I believe personally that, and, to this day, they don't talk about it. To this day, it's like I said, it's like an elephant in a room, because you hear about stories like this just about every day. For some reason, they can't be explained. And for some reason, nobody can pinpoint where exactly did this all start? What could possibly be the reason? And when these same Israelite groups, these false shepherds, the false pastors, when this come across their door, they just look the other way, right? Because they don't want to address it. And when you understand the Bible, what you have to understand is you have what they call false shepherds. You have what they call false prophets. These are false prophets who, for their own belly, have taken a backdoor deal and took a bribe with the powers that be, Esau, Edom, and they get instructions, and they are allowed to maneuver and operate on a certain level, and the powers that be, Esau, Edom, turn the blind cheek, turn the other way, and allow them to do the things that they do. The catch is that they have to take instructions. They have to they have to teach certain things when the time arises. And when you look at how the devil operates, he always uses spiritual leaders as one of the main influencers. Even with that woman, Margaret Sanger, she has a quote out there that says, the founder of Planned Parenthood, one of her quotes out there is to say, we don't want the black population to know that we're trying to exterminate them. So this is why those spiritual leaders are important. When you go to that actual quote, she said in the magazine, and she said, we must get the spiritual leaders, your church pastors, the leaders on board to say that, to speak in line with the plan, because we don't want the people to believe or know that our plan. So it's always the spiritual leaders, so-called, who are the first target to go to, because our people as sheep, when they seek comfort and answers, they're going to go to who they believe to be pastors and who they believe to be spiritual leaders. But what happens when those spiritual leaders are already bought and paid for, right? And these are the same Israelite groups that tell you that it's okay to trust the science of the devil, right? And and to this day, they don't speak on it. They don't talk about it. They stay away from it. And why do you think that is? I believe it's because of the deal that they made. They can't be on record speaking against it. They can't do it. They can't, if anything, they can just stay away from it, but they can't link anything back to that. And I believe that's part of their requirement. So the book of Isaiah 56, verse 10 says, his watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Yea, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough. And they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, everyone for his own gain, everyone for his gain from his quarter. Come ye, say they, I will fetch wine, and we will fill ourselves with strong drink, and tomorrow shall be as this day, and much more abundant. This is talking about the false watchmen, the false shepherds in the land of Israel. They are blind, they're dumb dogs, they can't bark. The job of a dog is to bark at an intruder. But not these watchmen. They're blind, they're dumb dogs. Yet they increase in their substance, but they can't speak against certain things. Why? Because they're all looking for their own way, their own quarter. And they just continually say, we're going to increase some more and some more. And if you try to bring this topic to their doorstep, they're going to shut you down. Right? They're going to say, well, wait a minute. How is it that you can't trust the white man with all this, but when it comes to this one thing, now all of a sudden we can just trust it? You have to have, it's your job to discern who it is that's trying to fool you and who it is that really have your best interest at heart, right? So just like that Edomite there, how he's basically just speaking without speaking about certain things, is because he understands that you're not allowed to speak against the powers that be. If you want to cover that subject, really, he's able to, right? You better not say these words, otherwise we're going to shut your video down. We here at Great Millstone, or anybody that's trying to teach the Bible, you would know we can't say anything. That's how fast our video is going to get taken down, right? But you know our stance, because we were barking till our heads chopped off. We were barking till our heads fell off during that time. And you know what our stance is. To this day, look, this morning I get a video of, in fact, I'll show you 1 second. So this is the email, right? For the Camp channel. What do you think all these are? These video takedowns. I'll tell you what they all are. So-called misinformation. Every day I get one of these. Okay. Going all the way back between the years 2019 to 2021. You know, all day. That's all I get. Right? So we were speaking on it. We got proof and receipts that we speak on it. Right? That's the proof right there. Book Jeremiah chapter 5, verse 30. A wonderful and horrible thing is committed in the land. The prophets prophesy falsely, and the priests bear rule by their means. And my people love to have it so. And what will ye do in the end thereof? So this is why the Lord said 2/3 of Israel is going to be completely cut off and destroyed. All of you Israelites who honestly think that there is hope that all of Israel will come together one day, that all the Israelite groups can put our differences aside and come together, you have no idea what you're involved in, because you're dealing with Israelites who are only in this truth for their own gain. Absolutely no way in hell that'll ever happen, because the spirit that's going to be within us isn't going to be able to help but to ask these questions. We're going to say, so I got a question, brother. So what's the deal during the 2019 to 2021? How come you guys were promoting the poison? What's the deal with that? What's the deal? And it's going to be a big ruckus. It's going to be a big ruckus. All right? Because we understand, according to the scriptures, you have men that's just prophesying and ruling by their own means. Everybody's looking for their own gain, for their own quarter. So their mouths are sealed. They've taken the bribe. Or maybe out of respect to persons, they won't speak against this group because they see dollar signs and they want a check written to them. So they can't speak. They can't say nothing. Right? And that's a horrible thing, because integrity needs to be in the earth. That's the problem with the earth today. There's no integrity, and we know that it ain't gonna happen to the kingdom. But you got these sheep who really want to learn and they want to follow and listen. And they give their money and their time to these false shepherds. All the while, the false shepherds are in it for their own selves. That's why the Lord set up the true shepherds, the right shepherds. And we're telling you that starting with the Apostles, Elders, the Great Millstone, we are telling you everything according to the scriptures, the best of our ability, for free. We don't charge. We have no type of ill will against anybody. We're not seeking to gain anything from you. We don't ask for nothing. We're giving all this to you for free, and we're issuing out the warning because this is actually dangerous. Lives are at risk. So all you guys that come on the channel and say, oh, you're just hating. We're actually concerned about lives here. You know, many Israelites have went back to the spirit world because of listening to the counsel of these Israelite leaders concerning during the 2019 to 2021. Did you know that? Who's going to speak up for them? Who's going to question them? Those are bodies swept under the rug that they don't want to talk. They don't want it to be talked about. They're not going to talk about the elephant in the room because they took the bribes. But as time dwindles down, it's going to be evident that these guys are false shepherds, and that's why they're all squirming. They're all squirming. I'm telling you, they're all squirming because as prophecy hits the door, right, it's becoming more evident who's the true prophets and who are not. And pretty soon, this devil's going to make another push, and he's going to lead the world into the microchip. And these same false prophets, mind you, they all say that the chip is not the mark of the beast. Well, guess what? If you can just watch the little clip I just put up on my channel a few days ago, what is that devil saying? We need to push for under the skin monitoring. Security, governments wants to know what's going on under your skin. The damn devil said out of own mouth, all this walk into the store, I'm just going to do what I want, free will. Those days are over. This is what they're telling you. Now, we know what the deal is. But I'm telling you, them Israelite groups, those false shepherds, they behind the doors, behind the scene, they are squirming. They're planning their escape. They're planning their getaway because they're going to do exactly what they were set up to do as hirelings, which is deceive the people, deceive the sheep, get their bellies fat. And when the devil tells them it's time for them to step down, lead them to the slaughter, you're going to lead them to the slaughter, and then they're going to have their own exit plan. John chapter 10, the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd, and the good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. But he that is a hireling, and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scattereth the sheep. The hireling fleeth, because he is an hireling, and careth not for the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep, and am known of mine. So the Lord knows his sheep, and he's going to call his sheep away from those false shepherds. As for you other ones who's following these groups, be prepared to be led to the slaughter, and when the time comes, you will not be able to find your leaders. He done already took the backdoor deal. This stuff is for real. This is life and death when it comes to counsel and doctrine. And you guys think it's a game because you just want to have a good old time in the land of Babylon as an Israelite, man. A lot of people are sick. A lot of people have died. And they just sweep it under the rug so that their bellies can get fat. And trust me, pretty soon when you start seeing them talk about Romans 13th chapter, guaranteed they're going to start talking about the Romans 13th chapter all at the same time. That's how you know that they've gotten a script real soon. With that, shalom.